party going. Next up, funny gal, Danielle Schwolow!
Hey. So, he did just say my last name was Schwolow. I was born with it, so it wasn't really different to me, right? So, like growing up as a kid, kid versus kid, it's okay. We don't know what it means, right? It's only the dads when you go over to, your friend's house after gymnastics. Like, hello, Mr. Gregory, how are you? And he's like, good, what's up, Danielle Schwolow? And you just look at him like, what's going on? He's like, you see it in his eyes. And he says, yeah, that's a tough one. And I'm like, why? Because it's hard to spell? And he's like, yeah, go with that. So then middle school and teenager, like middle school I found out what it was. And I was like, oh my God, that's what people have been thinking? These grown men? In high school, it was pretty rough. All my friends called me Swallows. Like, all their kids to this day call me Swallows. Like, I'll be walking at the mall, and they're like, Swallows! Like, 5 people turn their head. How did we all get the same nickname? High school was pretty rough, though, so everybody, just assumed I was a hoe because my last name was Schwolow. And it's like, I'm not a hoe because my last name is Schwolow. I'm a hoe because I like to suck dick, So what's funny now is adult versus adult is the coolest phase of the last name so far, I'll say. Because, they don't want to say it wrong. So, I'll get called, it'll be, hey, this is Mrs. Morgan calling from Bank of America. Can I speak to Danielle? I'm not even gonna try that one. I let her try for 20, 30 seconds, and I'm like, Schwolow? She's like, yeah, that's what I meant. Danielle Schwolow. That's interesting. Where's that from? Always the same question. My father, Al Schwolow. Where'd you get yours? Miss Morgan, billboard? Commercial? No? And now, the second most popular question I get asked is, can I see your ID? And I'm always like, yeah, sure, I have it handy. No problem. And people are more shocked that it's actually my last name. They look at it and they're like, huh, okay, made of plastic. Nice. Wow, I can read, okay. Danielle Schwolow, that is not how I would have spelled it. Huh, that's how Al spells it? Interesting, Schwolow. Oh, you're an organ donor. Be careful, I heard science is up to stuff. So, the question that I get asked most often now is actually, I'm a married woman, and people still ask me this question. They say, do you spit or swallow? And I say, I don't know, why don't you come find out after the show? So, I'm from Florida, and I just recently moved here. My husband, Louisville, he works for Ford. UAW, woo-woo. And I didn't realize that you had to join a gang. Everyone was all red versus blue, cards versus birds. And I'm like, well, what are the pros and cons? Give them to me. And what I really got from the argument is that blue thinks they're really, really, really good, and red thinks not so much. So the red fans are really blue isn't great. But anyways, I haven't decided, and I went to Kroger and I was wearing red and blue, and that was one of the only 2 fights I've been in at Kroger so far. Thank you guys, I've been Danielle Schwolow.
Fantastic. She's married, so maybe she doesn't swallow anymore. Like my wife.